I am the executive director of the Compass School, which is at Westminster, Vermont. I come from Missouri. I didn't realize I was a Southerner till I came out here, and I definitely am, I guess. So anyway, my big interest, I've been teaching for a long time. I've taught in high schools of 2,000. I've taught in schools of less than 200. And I've been everything from a football coach to a track coach to assistant principal, directors of alternative schools. I've been around. And I guess my biggest concern is with consolidation is that sometimes that we get more focused on the system, we get more focused on adults, we get more focused on administrators, which I am one, and we forget about the students. We forget about doing what is best for the students. Compass School is a choice school, and so to me, in order for us to exist, we need to keep that part in there with the consolidation. But I'm sure it's just a small piece. Efficient use of the dollar, I think, is huge. Schools have to be able to be accountable. I was in the Kansas City School District 20 years ago, and at that time I knew it was a failing district, and it was a terrible waste of money for it to take 20 years to get anything done. So it's difficult sometimes when you have one size fits all, because that doesn't meet the needs of all students. So whatever size works, the sizes need to be there. I wish I could say consolidation is the best thing since sliced bread, or I could say consolidation doesn't work. In some places it works, some places it doesn't. And so the bottom line I think that we have to look at is what is best for our students. Good schools generate jobs. Good schools bring people to Bellows Falls, Springfield, and that's having good students. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've lived in Heartland, which is a school choice town, for over 30 years now. And I'm also a trustee of an independent school, the Sharon Academy. As a parent, I highly value the freedom to choose what I think is the best school for my children, and I have 2 children. So that choice that is available in the 90-some Vermont towns is very important to me. It's very important to my fellow citizens in Heartland. I remember one of the gentlemen who testified in Montpelier a couple weeks ago said, yeah, we do have a lot of school districts, but we also have a lot of towns. And the towns are the heart and soul of Vermont. They're the way we organize ourselves politically. They're the way we build our communities. And so I worry that a town like Heartland, which is about 3,000 people, if it gets gathered into a larger district, say neighboring Hartford, which is 5 or 6 times larger, our voice will be lost. We'll have very little influence. And I think when you put school governance in the hands of a centralized administrator, and the board is meeting miles away from one's hometown, you're going to have governance problems and discontent. First off, local oversight is going to be diminished. Local accountability is going to vanish. And so the board, this hypothetical new board, is not going to have as strong an incentive to be responsive, particularly to the small towns in a unified district. That's going to be a serious downside. We don't have a way to put a financial number on it the way the business managers can on the consolidation side, but I do think that in the end we're going to regret that kind of consolidation because it's going to seriously diminish the political identities of our towns. Now, I think creativity and innovation in any system tends to come mostly from outside, because the people that are running the system, after all, were successful in building it and sustaining it in its current format. So when we do centralize things and we put experienced administrators in charge, their instinct and their mandate is to enforce conformity. And so when new ideas and creative opportunities come along, their instinct is to say, no, that doesn't fit, that's not the way we do business, we can't work that into our system because we've got to have everybody more or less on the same track. And I think we're seeing that in proposals coming out of the state education department, especially in the most recent language that's been suggested for amending it, the current bill that is before you, that's come out from Mark Ettinger and Senator Hartwood. We've really got a thriving source of educational creativity and innovation in the independent schools here in Vermont. They're flourishing. They are doing things somewhat differently than the public schools by and large, and they're being successful. So if we block or limit access to their success and their way of thinking as a consequence of school district consolidation and centralized thinking, I think that would be a very serious loss. If we insulate these public schools from fair competition and fresh ideas, I think that's a loss of an incentive to perform well, and certainly it takes away the choice that the choice towns and families have now. And I think both of those will be very tragic losses.
West Windsor is an anomaly in Vermont in that our district is increasing the number of kids that are coming to our school. I believe that it's due to choice and that we have an amazing staff and a lot of great learning. I'm going to try and not jump around. I have notes all over my piece of paper here. West Windsor is a vacation town. We have probably more houses than residents. I think a majority of the people that bought their vacation homes come because of the community that we have, and that if school consolidation comes and we lose choice, that community goes away, and all of those people that bought the houses, the reason they bought those houses goes away. We have trail networks, we have community activities, and it's mostly the parents of the school children that run all of those things. So that's one concern I have. And you keep saying that this isn't, this will change and everything, but if the unified union happens and the voters get to vote on it, most likely in our district, I would say that West Windsor would lose choice because the voters would just prefer to go to, that's just pure guess on my part.
I'm not quite sure. You're thinking that if they had an option to have choice or not have choice, they would choose to not have choice.
I think the people in West Windsor would want choice.
They would
but
want
I think
choice,
in the
okay.
surrounding towns, other people, it would be the surrounding towns, it would be Windsor basically that would say, we want everybody to come here. Probably.
The way it's written, you'd get to keep it.
We would get to keep
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I misread. I apologize.
It's complicated, and that isn't the actual bill, that's just a summary.
Right. And then the other thing that I haven't heard, talked about staffing. Right now there's individual teacher contracts for each district within our supervisors union, and I think having a single teacher's contract would save